The close racing of NASCAR was spine-tingling. 43 V8s touching 190 miles an hour just feet away from spectators.
What I hadn't expected was that when you get close to these cars, they're every bit as awe-inspiring as a Grand Prix car. And yet when it comes to regulations, they're poles apart. Formula One is so high-tech, yet these NASCARs are just really basic racing machines. The regulations dictate that the space frame chassis underneath the body is exactly the same on every car. The bodywork is exactly the same. The only difference between a Dodge, a Chevrolet, a Ford, or even a Toyota is the engine under the bonnet. Even then, they're all very strictly regulated 6-litre V8s. They run on a single carburettor, no fuel injection, no electronics. They're incredibly simple cars. So when it comes down to the racing, it's like 90% driver instead of 90% car that it is in Formula One.
And fantastically, the public can play at being a NASCAR driver too, which is what I went to do at Disney World. This was exciting stuff, and looking at the Hall of Fame, I knew I was in good company. First, an instructor shows you around the oval track.
You have any racing experience, man? Anything that...
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'd also had a very privileged briefing just a couple of days earlier when I spoke to reigning Rookie of the Year, Juan Pablo Montoya, about where on earth the racing line is around a bowl.
You run the bottom, you can run wide open, and you run the top and you're half gas and you just hanging on, and you hit the bumps on the rear slides, and here comes the wall, and you get out of the gas too much, they're gonna hit you from behind, and you're busy out there.
This made me a little nervous, compounded by the fact that the cars used by paying punters are exactly the same spec as race cars, with the same 6-litre V8s. Before strapping in, there was one small piece of showbiz to be conducted that the Americans seem to do so well.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to beautiful, sunny Orlando, Florida, here at the Walt Disney World Speedway. We have thousands of race fans in attendance. Fans, let me hear, make some noise! All right, fans, we have a star-studded lineup for you here today. Going out in the 68 Safety Clean Ford Taurus. Let's give a big round of applause for Tiff Needle! Yay!
Needle.
£200 buys you 10 laps, but you can't expect to blast around the track at warp speed. This is an experience that anyone off the street with a driving licence can do. So I was under strict instructions to follow my pace car at a distance of 3 car lengths at all times.
It's amazing, it takes you much quicker than you think. Straight away we're up to about 4,000 RPM, and these cars have got 600 horsepower when you get up into the sort of 6.5 RPM level. And it's just so different to anything you've ever experienced. You've got the walls up against you, you're diving into the turns, just shading the brake pedal with your left foot. What it'd be like at full speed, chasing around here in a pack of 43 cars, one can only imagine. You know, when they're racing, they got cars beside, behind, in a mirror, you've got a spotter talking into your ear. And I'll tell you what, the stamina, the concentration these guys must have to sit in here for these long 2 or 3 hour races. It's quite amazing. Those speedos, of course, I've no idea how fast we're going, but I'll tell you what, it's beginning to feel pretty quick. Oh, what a NASCAR racer! Slowly, faster and faster. Now the steering's beginning to become more active. I'm feeling the front tires biting and then beginning to get to the edge of their limits, the middle of the corners. Away, I haven't got the back twitching yet, and I probably hope I never will. You can feel now the bit of stagger on the steering, so when you go down the straights, you're actually steering right to hold it from going left. When you come to the corners, you just relax the grip on the steering and it turns itself in. 6,000 RPM down the back straight. This thing only goes to 7,000, so I don't know how fast or how near the limit we are.
In fact, we were hitting 130 miles an hour. Not bad on such a tight oval.
That's a very, very different thing to
Now that was an experience. Doing the more mature course, Brian went quicker and quicker, and I'm hanging on, and I'm feeling a bit of understeer. We really were getting up to almost race speeds, which you never get out of the sort of English racing school experience. That was mega. I can highly recommend it.
It's hard to get a sense of speed in such an open space, but my instructor in the pace car confirmed we'd been as fast as the course would allow.
It was great. There was no problems whatsoever. I mean, he did a great job. 131 you can see is your top speed there, so that's the absolute fastest I'm allowed to take. You know, so I get to keep my job.
And you can